Yes, in this video session of Standard 10, in chapter Metal Non-Metal, I am going to discuss regarding ionic compound. How this ionic compound is formed. And in ionic compound, how ionic bond is formed. That is the main thing which I will discuss here. Yes, students, all of us have to understand that in ionic compound, the bond is ionic bond. What type of bond it has? Ionic bond. When the atoms of the elements combine, there may be ionic bond, there may be covalent bond, and there may be coordinate bond. Here in this chapter, we are going to study ionic bond. Later on, we will study covalent bond and coordinate bond. What is this ionic bond? Ionic bond is the electrostatic force of attraction which exists between two oppositely charged ions. Electrostatic or Coulombic force of attraction that exists between two oppositely charged ions that results in the formation of ionic bond. Now, what type of elements forms this ionic bond? That I will explain to you. See, first thing we'll have to remember, whenever metal combines with a non-metal, metal plus non-metal, then there will be formation of ionic bond. Metal and non-metal, when atoms of metal and atoms of non-metal combine, there will be formation of ionic bond. What are the metals? All of us have studied in this chapter metal, non-metal only. What is a metal? What is a non-metal? In terms of electronic configuration or number of electrons in valence shell, if you define a metal, metals have 1, 2 or 3 electrons. 3 electrons in valence shell. What is this valence shell? Valence shell means last cell. Last cell. And non-metals, yes, of course, the elements having 4 to 8 electrons in their last cell, that are non-metals. 4 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are non-metals, but the elements which are having 5, 6 or 7 electrons in their last cell, they generally combine with metal to form ionic bond, and the compound will be ionic compound. Now, why does this metal and non-metal combine? All of us have to remember this, that every element has a tendency to complete its octet. Why the elements wants to complete its octet? To gain stability. Because if the element is having 8 electrons in last cell, it will have extra stability. Okay. So, atoms of every element have a tendency to lose electron or gain electron or share electron to complete their octet. Now, you see, if I take a common example of an ionic compound, that is sodium chloride. Yes, see it. If you are understanding this sodium chloride, then you will be able to understand magnesium chloride, magnesium oxide, calcium chloride, calcium oxide, aluminum chloride, any ionic compound. You see, in this, sodium is having 11 electron in its valence shell. So, its electronic configuration is 281. and chlorine is having 17 atomic number, so it is having 7 electrons in its valence shell. Atomic number of sodium is 11, atomic number of chlorine is 17. So this is the configuration. So we can see sodium has 1 electron in its valence shell and chlorine has 7 electron in its valence shell. So sodium has a strong tendency to lose its last electron to complete the octet and gain stability. And chlorine has a strong tendency to gain its electron and complete octet and gain stability. Now you see here sodium will lose an electron and it will form Na plus. And chlorine will take up this electron and it will form Cl minus. If any atom is losing an electron, then it will be positively charged ion. Why? Because in an atom, number of proton and number of electron is equal. But whenever an atom loses an electron, then number of proton and number of electron will not be equal. Here in this case you see sodium is having 11 proton and 11 electron. After losing 1 electron, sodium is having 11 proton and 10 electron, so it is carrying a positive charge. So sodium is forming a positively charged ion, and any positively charged ion is known as cation. So if anyone asks in sodium chloride, which is the cation? Sodium plus is the cation, Na plus is the cation, and you see here chlorine is having a negative charge. Why? You see in chlorine number of electron is 17, number of proton is 17, but after taking 1 electron it is becoming Cl minus, in which number of proton is still 17 but number of electron is 18. So chlorine is having a negative charge, so chlorine is forming an anion. So first of all you clear the concept of cation and anion. In sodium chloride, sodium is existing as cation and chlorine is existing as anion. What is the configuration of sodium? 281. What is the configuration of chlorine? 287. Now what is the configuration of Na plus? It will be 28. And what will be the configuration of Cl minus? It will be 288. So sodium is giving 1 electron and chlorine is taking up that electron. Now this part also you will have to understand how the transfer of electron is taking place, that how can you show pictorially. You see I am drawing here, please see it, you will be able to understand. Sodium is having 1 electron in valence shell, so I am showing with 1 dot. Number of electron in valence shell we show with dot. Okay, now chlorine is having 7 electron, so it will show this like this. Now sodium gives up this electron and it will form Na plus. It is not having an electron in its valence shell, and chlorine is gaining 1 electron, so it is forming Cl minus. We are just showing the pictorial figure of the chlorine having electron in its last shell. Okay, so it's clear to you how the electron transfer is taking place. Sodium is losing and chlorine is gaining, so the arrow from sodium to chlorine, so we are showing it. Okay. Now I am taking another example. Suppose you are asked to explain magnesium chloride. Okay. It is also an ionic compound. How the bond is formed I am explaining, you see. Magnesium, first of all we'll have to write the electronic configuration 12, 282, atomic number 12, 282, chlorine 17, 287. So magnesium has a strong tendency to lose its 2 electron, and magnesium will lose its 2 electron and will form Mg2 plus. I don't think that you have any problem why magnesium cation is bearing plus 2 charge, since it is losing 2 electrons. So number of proton is 12, number of electron is 10 in Mg2 plus, so it is having 2 plus charge. But chlorine is taking up only 1 electron, so we are writing its minus. Okay. Now, if you want to show this by electron dot structure, how you will show? Magnesium is having 2 electron and chlorine is having 7 electron. But there are 2 chlorine atoms, so we'll write 2 chlorine. Okay. Now this will give to this and this will give to this. Now this magnesium is losing its 2 electron, it's transferring its 2 electron to 2 chlorine atoms, and it will result in the formation of Mg2 plus. And 2Cl. You see why we are writing 2? Because there are 2 chlorine atoms. So we are writing 2. In case of sodium chloride, we were not writing because there was only 1 chlorine. Okay. 2Cl atom is gaining how many electron? 1 electron. So there will be 1 minus charge. So it's clear to you, I think. Example of magnesium chloride. Okay. Now, I will discuss aluminum oxide. That is a bit hard example, but it's easy. You see, you will follow and you can also draw. Aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide. See, aluminum. What is its atomic number? 13. It will be 283. Oxygen. What is its atomic number? 8. 2, 6. Now see, aluminum has a strong tendency to lose its 3 electron, and oxygen has a strong tendency to gain 2 electrons. So, aluminum after losing 3 electron, it will be Al3 plus, and oxygen after gaining 2 electron, it will become O2 minus. See, here 3 plus since it is losing 3 electron, here 2 minus since it is taking up 2 electron to complete its octet. So, minus charge and plus charge over the cation and anion should be very clear to you. You should not confuse beta. You should not confuse. You always have to remember the charge is coming from where? Number of electron it's losing 3. So it is plus 3. Number of electron it is gaining. So it is minus 2. Okay. Now, if you are asked to show electron dot structure for it, you see 2 aluminum atom is there. Not 1, 2 aluminum atom is there. And aluminum is having 3 electrons in valence shell. And there are 3 oxygen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All oxygens need 2 electrons, and aluminum wants to lose its 3 electron. So, first aluminum atom will give its 2 electron to this oxygen. Now, 1 electron extra, it will give it to this oxygen atom, and another electron will be given from this aluminum. Remaining two electrons, this aluminum will give to this oxygen. Okay? Now, what it will be? You see, Al2O3. We are writing the electron dot structure. 2 aluminum atom. So, we are writing 2. No confusion for this 2. 2 aluminum, so 2Al. It is losing 3 electrons. So, we are writing 3 plus. How many oxygen is here? 3 oxygen. So, we are writing 3 O, and it is gaining 2 electrons. So, we are putting 2 minus. So, do remember number of atoms involved in the formation of molecule, that is compound, that you are presenting here. 2 aluminum, 2 aluminum, 3 oxygen, 3 oxygen. Number of electron it is losing, that you are showing here. It's losing 3, so it is 3 plus. It's gaining 2, so it is 2 minus. So I have given the example of sodium chloride and magnesium chloride, then aluminum oxide. 3 examples I have given. Hope you will understand and you will be able to draw some more electron dot structure for some more ionic compounds. Now, let us discuss some properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are generally crystalline solids. They are soluble in water. What I am telling? They are soluble in water. But they are insoluble in organic solvents. Okay? Do remember, ionic compounds are soluble in water and other polar solvents, but they are insoluble in what? They are insoluble in organic solvents, which are non-polar. They are not soluble in them. Then ionic compounds are very hard. Why hard? Because in ionic compounds the ions are strongly bonded by strong electrostatic force of attraction. So they are very hard. Next, ionic compounds conducts electricity. But students, do remember, ionic compounds conducts electricity only in molten state or in aqueous solution. Ionic compounds conducts electricity but only in molten state or in aqueous solution. Why? Because in solid state there is no free ions to conduct electricity. We'll have to remember, electricity is conducted by movement of ions. So if there is no free ions, then there will be no movement of free ions. So electricity won't be conducted. Another point is there for conduction of electricity, that is by movement of electrons. But here in this ionic compound, we explain it in terms of movement of ions. So in aqueous solution or in molten state, the ions are free to move. There are free ions, so they conduct electricity in aqueous solution or in molten state. In aqueous solution or in molten state, these ions will move far away from each other. Okay, so the attractive force will decrease, So these ions will move and that will be responsible for conduction of electricity. Then ionic compounds have very high melting and boiling point. The reason is very simple. They have very strong force of attraction. So large energy is required to break the bond, the strong bond. So ionic compounds are what? Ionic compounds are having high melting and boiling point. Okay students, study ionic bond and ionic compounds thoroughly. Solve all the questions from NCERT book and also see previous year questions. Okay, thank you.